So first of all, why would you want to be more connected to your emotions? Let's talk about that.
Voice talks. Voice talks. Voice talks. Voice talks.
Not being open with our emotions is a really common reason why relationships start to suffer, just from the pure reason of that it is through our emotions that we connect in an intimate way. And if we find it hard to do that, we are going to feel disconnected from our partners, from our friends, from our family. So it's a vulnerable thing, but really showing our emotions, feeling our emotions and showing our emotions more is a huge part of what makes us feel connected to other people. And if I'm keeping my emotions in and not expressing them, I can start to feel really tight, a little bit like I used to feel kind of like a pressure cooker. If I wasn't saying what I was thinking about things and what I was feeling about things, we can start to build up resentment. And over time, that can really decay into really icky things like giving the silent treatment or the cold shoulder, or just feeling really resentful towards people because we're not in touch with how we're really feeling about things or able to express it. Another reason goes back to what I say about being in our power, which is that for me to really be in touch with what it is that I want, what it is that I like, what it is that I don't like, my emotions are my map to telling me that. And so if I'm disconnected from my emotions, I'm also kind of disconnected from myself because I don't have that inner compass that is guiding me through my life. When I can be in touch with my emotions and connected to them, so much safety and comfort comes from that, because I sort of know that I've got my back and I kind of know my way on my wiggly path through my own life in my own way. There's so much power in being connected to the emotions. And for the people who like to be on stage or want to be on stage or want to lead, I'm going to talk more about this in future videos, but I talk sometimes with my clients about this X factor quality, which is sometimes seen as something that you're either born with or you're not, right? And I think the show, the X Factor, a little bit makes us think that, like, there's some people who've just got it. But for me, when we are being really moved or really inspired, really engaged by someone who's speaking or singing, it's when we're really feeling them. And for us to feel them, they need to be expressing that feeling. And for them to be able to do that in the most authentic way, they need to be feeling it too. Your authentic voice and your most X-factorish, juicy, engaging, motivating, empowering, inspiring voice is the one that is allowing your emotions out onto it. And so how can you use your voice to be more in touch with your emotions? Well, the voice for me really can carry the colors of our emotions. The voice really is a vehicle for that, for the expression of emotions. And I think you know very well, we know what a happy voice sounds like. We know what an angry voice sounds like. The emotions are really, really able to come out on our voice. And we can use that very close connection between voice and emotion. We can use that connection to dive in to exploring our range of emotions using our voice. So with my clients, I bring some music in there, I bring some improvisation in there. Our emotions, they do come and go, and they do just want to be seen. It's when sometimes we don't like to feel uncomfortable, right? And so we turn away from what's uncomfortable. And the more that we turn away from certain emotions, the sort of like bigger they get out there in the background somewhere. And it can really take a toll. It can give us a lot of stress. It can make us feel kind of apathetic and unmotivated and lifeless and kind of murky and depressed without really knowing why. For me, using the voice to go into the emotions ends up being a very beautiful experience. It can be a very creative experience, artistic experience. For me, when we talk about honoring your whole experience, there's almost no greater way to honor your experience and let your emotions feel seen than expressing them creatively on the vehicle of your voice. And I'm going to show you just for a couple of moments, just to get an idea of what I mean by this. When I do this practice with clients, there's a whole process that I take you through so that you learn to do this. But what we're doing is we're going out to the edges of how we express the rawness of emotions within a container that we create for ourselves to let us dive in, explore the emotions. And the voice is also a vehicle of release. So we're not just feeling the emotions, we're releasing them at the same time. And when we do that, then we're getting more connected to ourselves and how we're feeling, and we're also sort of getting it out at the same time in a very beautiful way. I'm going to show you. It was just a quick little demonstration. What I really like to do is go first into anything that feels a bit heavy. And I'm not really thinking, I'm just, okay, heavy, and letting whatever comes up come up. And then moving a little bit through into nurture. Sort of giving from myself to myself a kind of nurturing, comforting voice. Very often then it moves through much more into joy, pleasure, other different emotions. But using a technique with the voice, using your voice and your creativity at the same time to dive deeply into the rawest emotions, it really, for me, is the best way that I've found to reconnect to my feelings and also to know that it's not as scary as I always used to think, to go into those emotions, that it can be a very beautiful experience to feel them. And there's been so many clients that I've worked with that really did not have much connection with their emotions at all, and going into a practice like this one, steps along the way to get to this kind of free improvisation using the emotions, but has really given them a new access to the emotions and a new also expressive quality of the voice. Because when we do that, we're training the voice out in all of these different directions, vocalizing through the vocal mechanism in all of those different formations, because they're very physical as well. When we feel emotions, there are changes in the muscles and micro muscles in the face, in the whole body, that affect how the voice is sounding. And so we're vocalizing through all of those different modalities, training the voice in such a wider range than we tend to do if we're focusing, on classical singing or pop singing. And we're unlocking new different colors and flavors of voice that just come back into the regular speaking and singing voice. We see it with my clients, a kind of a richer tone in the voice, more colors. I think you know what I mean when I use a visual word to talk about sound. More colors in the voice, more expressive capacity. But really, I think that the most beautiful effect of it, of all, is just having this deeper connection to our inner world, along with a tool to really actually process and release anything heavy that's going on.